good to be with all of you today. Thank you so much for the introduction, Chris, and for emceeing. Cookie, thank you for getting us organized as you do every single month. And Sean Patty, the mystery man who we never see, thank you for your production and all the tech work. I did meet Sean Patty in person last year in Trinidad and Tobago. I know he exists for all of you who are still wondering. But I appreciate the three of you and pulling this together every single month. Normally, I'll have an update for you from the board of directors meetings, and I gave you part of our last big meeting was in January. I gave you updates in February and March. Pretty eventful meeting, especially as we worked on the realignment of our zones, redrawing the maps around the world. So our next meeting is next week. So certainly in May, I will have updates for you. We did have two virtual meetings during March, and really two things came out of that. One, the board's going to establish 3 work groups to work on topics that, as a board, we had centered around that are particularly important. These will not be shocking, I don't think, but working on membership growth through regionally tailored strategies, something that our zones have been doing now for a number of years. Strengthening the transition of Rotaractors to Rotary clubs, and also looking at conventions and institutes and exploring future formats and seeing if what we have been doing for these many decades, is that still the best way to proceed forward. So those work groups will be getting going here shortly. In fact, I just scheduled a meeting with the current and next 2 presidents to discuss this next week when we're together at headquarters. Many of you are going to be aware and saw an announcement that came out on Good Friday that that Barcelona, which had been selected to host our 2029 convention, has been moved to 2027. Has been moved to next year. I'm very grateful to the host committee, as well as the cooperating municipalities and others in Barcelona for taking this on very short notice. I think it's great. I have not been to Barcelona, but I'm very excited to go there next year. Dubai had been scheduled as our 2027 venue, and we still plan to go to Dubai. But given the uncertainties in that region, we felt like in order to give the convention, our staff and those on the ground, the opportunity to plan the very best convention for all of you, that we needed to go ahead and make that change. So it could end up just being a switch between 27 and 29. We'll see how that turns out, but definitely we're going to Barcelona next year. And I'll mention, some of you will remember, we were originally going to Honolulu in 27, and the renovation of their convention center turned out to be much more extensive than they expected. So we're on our 3rd venue, but one of the 4 pillars of our action plan is increasing our ability to adapt. So we are putting it into play. So anyway, look forward to seeing many of you next year in Barcelona. That will be the last 5 days of June, the last 5 days of the 26-27 Rotary year. So look forward to seeing you then. By the way, in case you're unaware, registration will open in September. It will not open at this year's convention as we typically would do. And that's just a matter that we are moving registration platforms and having to obviously redesign what all of that will look like for next year. So we should have that open in September. I also want to give you an update on our disaster recovery fund. You all will recall that over the past 21 months, we've had 4 major hurricanes impact our zones. Hurricane Beryl, in fact, on July 1st of 2024, struck the Southern Caribbean and then moved across, and on July 3rd hit Jamaica. And we established a disaster fund separately within the Disaster Network of Assistance Rotary Action Group to support recovery efforts there. I think we had a good response. And then the next 2 hurricanes that hit were Helene and Milton, which both came into the Gulf Coast, with Helene doing more damage across our 2 zones. At that point, we decided to house a disaster recovery fund within our zones accounts and collected over $1.4 million in cash and right at $500,000 of supplies Those supplies went out very quickly. Some of you participated in the distribution, the packing and distribution of those supplies. It was really a masterclass in logistics that was largely coordinated by Governor Alpo, who's on the call today. I am happy to share that out of that disaster recovery fund, all those funds that we collected, all of that money now has been distributed across 86 grants that have gone really from Florida to Virginia. A number of different districts who have taken advantage of those grants to, in some cases, to do a little bit of prep for the next storm, but for mostly to rebuild their communities. And of course, that over $1.4 million has been matched by over $1 million by clubs, districts, some cooperating organizations, and just thousands and thousands of volunteer hours that have been provided by Rotarians, Rotaractors, and non-members, friends of Rotary, if you will. I'm not happy that we're out of money, but I am very pleased that the donations that we collected have been able to be put into play to really rebuild our communities. I think it's tremendous. And I know that many people on this call provided donations or have coordinated the grants, physically worked on the projects that were supported by these grants. And so please know that you have my unending thanks. Just tremendous work. And I'll also mention that our committee that assessed all of the grant applications to be sure that we were good stewards of that money worked tirelessly. My chief of staff, Cookie Billings, coordinated that committee, and it included John Smarge from Florida, David Edwards from Barbados, Lad Waldo, our treasurer, who was a very important link in the chain for all of that, was part of that, as was Bob Stewart, who was the sitting director, whose territory included New Orleans when Katrina hit there. He brought a great wealth of experience for this type of action. So very appreciative to all of them who have worked the last 18 months to support all of you with your projects. I will mention that District 7020, which was really hammered by Hurricane Melissa, we have a fund set up again through the DNA Rotary Action Group to support them. It's going to be years and years to be able to recover there. Just tremendous devastation that has taken place in central and especially western Jamaica, as well as parts of southern Haiti. I just put into the chat a link where you can donate, and I promise you that the Rotarians who are there are very serious about the stewardship, about getting the very most out of the donations that are made. So I encourage you to support what they are doing there with a donation if you are able. Turning to our upcoming convention in Taipei, it is just over 2 months away. Very excited to go there and to see the country of Taiwan. I got an update this morning. We are just shy of 38,000 paid registrations. That does not include people like me who are funded to go there, or the many staff that will be there to support, but people who have actually paid to be there. It's almost 38,000 people. So that'll just be tremendous, almost 3 times what we've had over the last 3 to 4 conventions. This is, of course, a great opportunity to learn so much from other attendees from all over the world, but we also have a wonderful opportunity for all of our Zone 33 and 34 people, our peeps, to get together at what we call the gathering. This was formerly called the Southland Breakfast or the Southland Reception, but we now call it the gathering because, let's face it, we go all the way to Lake Erie, so we're not all in the South anymore. You can see there on your screen, you've got a QR code that you can use to be able to go straight to the registration. I will tell you, registration's been a little bit slow so far. We have 410 people registered from our 2 zones for the convention, and we've only had 107 people sign up for the gathering so far. So if you've been putting this off, I encourage you to either use the link I just put in the chat or to use the QR code on your screen. Those of you who were in Calgary last year when we had 850 people, will remember it was just a fantastic event. Deborah Williams and her crew have planned another great event this year. So we look forward to seeing you on June 14th there in the late afternoon. We set it up late afternoon to early evening as a drop-in type of thing, so that if you have evening plans, you can come early. If you have plans late afternoon, you can come on the later side of that, 5 to 8. So we look forward to seeing you there. We'll also be inviting our friends from Alabama who will be moving over to join Zone 34 in a couple of years, and several of them have indicated that they're going to come there. So it'd be a great chance to welcome our new Zones 33, 34 family at an event like this. So look forward to seeing you all there. I'm going to turn now to today's main topic, which is to introduce a bold and audacious initiative that is taking place called the Peace on Earth by 2030 Moonshot. And like I said, you can tell from the title that it is audacious, but it is something that fits with Rotarians and our Rotary clubs like a glove. And rather than tell you a bunch more about this right now, we have a very special speaker who gave about a 5-minute overview of this program back on World Peace Day in September. Okay, it was me. It's not that special a speaker, but something that I did as part of a World Peace Day webinar. I think it was around midnight in Paris when I made this presentation. So that tells you how committed I am. I think it's very important, and I'm going to let me tell you more about it on this video. So Sean, take it away.
Well, thank you, Patrick.
Rotary has always been at its best when we've rallied around bold, world-changing goals. We've seen in our fight to eradicate polio. Now we have the chance to take on Rotary's first comprehensive global peace initiative, the Peace on Earth by 2030 Moonshot. This moonshot aligns with Rotary's mission, and it has the potential to become our organization's next great endeavor. Rotary has been in the peace business for almost its entire existence. The pursuit of peace is in our DNA, as Rebecca reminded us. I see my home Zones 33 and 34 fully engaging as pilot programs of this moonshot, then helping us to spread this vision across the globe. That's the opportunity before us. At its heart, the Peace Moonshot is built on a clear theory of change, and that requires lasting peace, both individually and as a community transformation at scale. Individually, members engage through the Peace Game, which teaches 7 transformative peace practices that anyone can apply in daily life. Collectively, communities become peace zones, places where those same practices are woven into the social fabric. Together, these 2 dimensions, personal and community transformation, can help us reach a global tipping point for peace by 2030. By engaging 0.5% of the world's population, we will reach that tipping point. Is that an audacious goal? You bet. Is it achievable? Absolutely. We have 46,000 clubs, and if 1/4 of those create peace zones, we will achieve the global awareness that peace on Earth can be a reality. And why Rotary? Well, because this initiative is both strategic and catalytic for us. It allows us to leverage our unparalleled global network, our peace infrastructure, and our reputation around a bold, unifying vision. It enhances the impact of projects we're already doing by fostering cooperation and cohesion in the communities we serve. It elevates Rotary's global profile, making us more visible, more relevant, and more attractive, especially to younger generations who resonate with peace building. We won't be doing this alone. The Empowerment Institute, architect of the Peace Moonshot, has developed customized resources to support Rotary's efforts. The Rotary Peace Game provides a practical framework that clubs can integrate easily into meetings and community projects. The Rotary Peace Zone Leadership Corps offers training and coaching so clubs can actively cultivate peace zones in their communities. This is an invitation not just to participate, but to lead. As our founder, Paul Harris, reminded us, there is nothing impossible for Rotary. Together, we have the reach, the human capital, and the methodologies to create lasting peace on a global scale. So let's embrace this moonshot. Let's commit our creativity, our networks, and our service to help humanity reach a tipping point for peace. If we do, then by 2030, we can look back and say, Rotary helped bring the world closer to its founding dream, peace on earth. Rotary knows how to do this. Together, through our clubs, our peace centers, and our collective action, we can make peace something the world doesn't just imagine, but actually feels. Thank you for being part of this work, and may we all continue to make peace our shared opus, our shared strategy, and our shared legacy. Well, it's always hard to hear your own voice, right? That's tough. But I think considering I'd had a nice meal and a shared bottle of Bordeaux that night, I didn't sound too loopy. So hope that gives you a bit of an overview about what this Peace Moonshot is all about. We have two additional experts who will be joining us to talk about this. But I just want to say at the top, I think this fits Rotary because it requires individual action, and we know we're people of action. It fits Rotary because it requires a global commitment, and we have a global network like no other organization. And for me, it provides the first comprehensive strategy for Rotary to utilize its members, its assets, and its infrastructure to reach a tipping point for peace. I'm very, very excited about this initiative. Later on, David Gershon, who you see on the screen, will be joining us. He is the architect and the leader of this effort, and he'll be introduced by Peter Kyle, someone who really doesn't need much of an introduction, but I'm going to give it my best shot. He is certainly among the best known and the most respected Rotary leaders in our two zones. He served as director 2020 to 2022. He is now a member of Rotary International's Joint Operations Review Committee, which in many ways is Rotary's super committee, and a very prestigious post he has. And he is certainly one of the primary partners in this Peace Moonshot initiative. So, Peter, I'm going to turn the floor over to you now.
Well, thank you, Patrick, for that stunning introduction. I hope that's recorded so I can play it back many times. Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see so many familiar faces on the screen. As Patrick mentioned, it's my great pleasure to introduce my good friend and Rotarian colleague, David Gershon. I first met David some 18 months ago. I had heard that he was promoting a global peace initiative, Peace on Earth by 2030 Moonshot. The title of this initiative intrigued me. We were connected by a mutual friend, and the more we talked, the more enthusiastic I became about this initiative. Since then, we've been working closely together with Patrick to promote this initiative. We've reached out to many senior Rotary leaders, and some of you may have joined into several Zoom calls already with David. Just a quick word about his background. Some 40 years ago, he served as the manager of the relay team responsible for carrying the Olympic torch around the world and bringing it to the Olympic Games in Lake Placid. That experience inspired him to take on a new and even more ambitious challenge, carrying a torch of peace around the world. After several years of planning, the first Earth Run took place in 1986. This worldwide torch relay was organized in partnership with UNICEF to celebrate the International Year of Peace and the agency's 40th anniversary. It was launched from the UN headquarters in New York in September of 1986. The event lasted 86 days. It involved 25 million participants in 62 countries and promoted global unity. 52 heads of state participated in this extraordinary initiative. And in each city on the route, peace-related events were arranged. It was a phenomenal success. Since then, David has specialized in bringing about fundamental change in our world. He is the founder and president of the Empowerment Institute and co-directs its School for Transformative Social Change. His clients include cities, government agencies, non-profits, large corporations, and social entrepreneurs engaged in furthering social change. He has published numerous works, including Social Change 2.0, a blueprint for reinventing our world. His latest and perhaps his most exciting and ambitious challenge is Peace on Earth by 2030 Moonshot. Please welcome David Gershon.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. And thank you, Patrick, for inviting me here, and good to be with everyone. Some of you I've seen before on different events that I've spoken at, so good to be with you again. So I'm going to share a little bit about how this really starts with the very first step, which is what we call the Peace Game for Rotarians, which we adapted for Rotary based on the demand we found when we were in Calgary last year, where some 200 people played the Peace Game in the convention context and said, if you brought this to our clubs, it could really take off and it would bring lasting impact because we need this kind of tool in our clubs. So we did, and I will talk with you about that now. And then, of course, if this is inspiring to you, show you how you can engage. So we call it the Peace Game for Rotarians and Clubs to strengthen leadership, enhance service, and deepen fellowship. It's explicitly customized for Rotary. We've now had about 150 people who've been trained to facilitate this, and we've had about, maybe 4 or 5 cohorts already engaged in this, at a district level, at a club level, multi-club level. And this is what we're discovering about the why. They're finding membership aging, you know that, variable engagement and retention, some of the issues that Rotary clubs face. We are finding meetings that inform, but they don't always deepen connection. We're finding increasing challenges with polarization in community service work in our world. And so clubs are asking this question: how can we better serve our members, our communities, and our world? So this is an answer to that question. What is the Peace Game? Patrick teed it up a little bit in his presentation, but let me go a little deeper. It's practical, it's action-based, and it's a peace-building framework. It grows out of my experience that Peter alluded to of passing the torch of peace around the world. And it's really the distillation of the 7 strategies that enabled us to have peace on earth for 86 days. So that was the genesis of the Peace Game. But then what we've done is we've woven the 4-way test into each of these practices. So it becomes a completely coherent experience for Rotarians. We focus on 3 goals: peace-building leadership, which is not a skill set that is easily learned or taught in Rotary or anywhere else. Peace-building leadership. Service effectiveness, which is one of the key outcomes that the Peace Game enables. And community impact, which is really its raison d'etre, which is to improve our communities through these practices. It's experiential and it's structured. So it's not a lecture, it's not a discussion series, it's not about learning more facts or more concepts. It's about living a practice in your life, in your service, in your clubs. The structure really is designed to create 3 principal outcomes: greater meaning for the individual, greater growth for the individual, and greater potential impact for an individual using these resources. It's designed around 9 one-hour facilitated sessions We have that training that I mentioned earlier, so some 150 people have been trained to facilitate that. And Patrick, thank you so much for getting the word out over the last 6 months as we put this on the ground. So some of you may be aware of this from that. We focus on Rotary-aligned peace practices applied to real life and service. Again, practical is the operative word here. It's easy to use. We have a peace game app. You do this in 3-person peace teams for mutual support. Without a peace team, we often get caught up in, I've been thinking about doing it, but not doing it. It creates accountability and mutual support and inspiration. It's a modest time investment with a lot of return. We see it as about 1 movie a week of time. So instead of watching a movie, well, watch the movie also, but then also do this. So these are the 7 peace actions: empowerment, oneness, unity, cooperation, abundance, love, and faith. Empowerment is becoming an agent of change. Oneness is learning how to befriend those we would normally reject because they are different from us. Unity is learning how to celebrate that which we share in common with others. Cooperation is finding common ground and cooperating with others for the common good. Abundance is offering our time and our financial wherewithal to furthering peace initiatives that further oneness, unity, and cooperation, and also build a spirit of generosity. Love is about prayer, visualization, intention to places in the world that need that. And faith is really about growing our own capacity to believe in our future and also to get more people engaged to hit the 40 million number that Patrick teed up. So these actions strengthen personal leadership, they enhance club effectiveness, they increase service impact, and end game is better relationships, stronger clubs, and more effective service. Having spent decades doing organizational change work, it's exciting to see how to take some of that knowledge and bring it to Rotary to upgrade its impact capacity and effectiveness in all the work it does. So based on the cohorts that have gone through this already, what we're finding is stronger collaboration between Rotarians, increased service capacity within clubs, deeper fellowship amongst Rotarians. In the pre-post surveys that we've done, we found that there's been significant improvement across all 7 practices between the pre and post assessments. And what we find is that when you have something of value, it spreads naturally and organically, and that's what's happening now. Oops, wrong way. How does it get introduced to a club? So it's always based on experience. People play they play the game. And it's usually played by individual Rotarians, who we would call the early adopters, and the early adopters within a club. Someone hears about this and says, this is great for my club, I want to participate. They identify other Rotarians in the club that sound like they would be interested in this. There's a process of offering an information meeting, and that's how it gets started. And then there's a training facilitators. So if someone wishes to engage in this, they do the training. It's 2 hours. It's designed to be flexible before, during, or after a club meeting, on another day, or via a district cohort. And when there's enough buy-in, the whole club steps in. And we've seen that now in some of our early cohorts, the whole club participating. It's quite exciting to watch the transformation of a club. So what happens after you've played the peace game? Well, now we move into Rotary's sweet spot, which is community improvement, community impact. So that's called a peace zone. And they are designed to help Rotary improve and increase and enhance its capacity for community impact. It emerges out of Rotarians applying what they've learned in the peace game to address the real community challenges they're already doing. So you're already committed investments now have the ability to have access to these tools to be stronger and more effective. How does it work? The end game is that we're not necessarily looking to solve a particular problem. There are so many different groups doing that. We're looking to create a culture of peace that enables greater cooperation, greater impact capacity, greater shared purpose, greater agency. And the process of a peace zone is to bring together the nonprofit, government, and business leaders to enable cooperation for the common good. Why does it matter? Why is this important? Well, when you drill down to peace, it really comes down to, in my judgment, a single practice: cooperation. When we learn how to cooperate and that becomes the norm, Rotary's projects have stronger buy-in, partnerships deepen, and results last longer. So, peace zones create the conditions that allow Rotary service to succeed at a higher level. And all the other 6 action areas can benefit when you have a culture like this. It's like planting seeds in fertile soil versus soil that's not really ready to receive some of the good works that these different projects are trying to do. So, how does it fit together with Rotary's action plan, its strategic objectives? It really has, I think, woven in well there, as well as through the 4-way test. It increases impact by strengthening peace-building leadership and club alignment. It expands reach by connecting clubs and communities. It enhances engagement by building fellowship and meaningful member experiences. And increases adaptability, which enables collaborative leadership to emerge for addressing the different needs that are always emerging within a community and always changing. So the Rotary Peace Game helps Rotary turn its action plan into stronger leadership, clubs, and communities. We're so proud that Stephanie has committed to be on the Peace Moonshot Rotary Advisory Board. So this is some kind words from her, which, by the way, Peter chairs and Patrick is on as well. And she says, "I'm glad that so many Rotarians are becoming involved with the Peace Game. And I'm grateful for the wonderful work it is doing to further peace in the world." And this is very short notice, but this is the way the universe timed this. The Peace Game actually starts tomorrow. And we've been building towards this moment for months, and Patrick has been very helpful in getting the word out. So if you find this of interest, we invite you heartily to participate. There's the link that you can register, po.earth Rotarian/Rotarians-2026-1. You can also register on our website, peace2030.earth Rotary. And I'm pleased to say, Patrick and Peter and everyone, we have, as of today, 71 people registered. This is like the Rotary Peace team at its best. The tribe is gathering to bring these practices into play. So let me stop there. And what I'd like to do now, I don't know how much time we have. I think we have a few minutes.
You know what, David? We're actually at time right now.
We're at time. Okay.
Yeah. But
Well,
so,
perfect.
yeah. So thank you for giving us such a nice overview of what this initiative is about and all of the possibilities that can really be, not overstating it to say, a world-changing action by Rotarians and Rotary. I'll mention that we will have breakout rooms coming up in about 10 minutes, and you'll have an opportunity to spend a little bit more one-on-one conversational time with David and Peter. So hope you'll stay tuned for that. We are going to shift now and give John Padgett, past Governor John Padgett from District 7600, the opportunity to talk a bit about the Zone Summit this fall. He is the general chair of that Zone Summit, and he has assembled just an incredible executive committee. I am very excited about going to Williamsburg this fall, and John, I'm going to let you tell everybody more about it.
Thank you, Rotary International Director Patrick. Yes, we are all excited. 28 weeks, 1 day from now, we will have our own moonshot in Williamsburg. I'm glad you didn't introduce it as bold and audacious, even though I think we're getting there. We initially started our planning, and you are right, the executive committee is amazing. The creative talent. I just enjoy the inspiration that I get every time we convene. But when we started, we asked, what makes the summit so special? How do we create a summit that will add the value that we all remembered, maybe from that first time that we went to a summit. And I think it all comes down to that you go sometimes as strangers and you leave as friends. You know, it's those casual conversations that you may have over coffee, between breakout sessions, those quiet moments that you have with people that become your friends. And that's the energy that we're trying to capture in Williamsburg. You'll see that behind me, there was a revolutionary sort of statement, and Rotary International Director-elect Marshall Butler sort of captured that moment. He wanted to talk about how Rotary has been revolutionary, and we're going to salute some revolutionary moments that we have had along the journey. The fact that the foundation has created so many opportunities throughout the world, women in Rotary, the youth in Rotary, all of those things are critical, and I think are part of the journey that we have together. So we're working together to try to capture all of that excitement in a bottle in Williamsburg. And that Rotary Summit, we think, is going to be that moment that we can answer sort of the simple question, because I remember I asked a classmate, what is your most memorable experience at a summit? And the response was, well, it's not really one. It really is, I have my favorite people, not my favorite experience. And wherever those favorite people are, that's my favorite summit experience. So we're out there now trying to create an experience that Rotarians in zones 33 and 34 will get excited about, that will have a little sizzle. You see the picture that's on the screen now of Paul Harris. Paul Harris joined us in Jacksonville. He has morphed into a Art McQueen sort of figure, but he's going to be with us through the entire journey. And you'll see our social media talk about that excitement that began the Rotary experience and turned into the Rotary Foundation. And then we're going to talk a little bit about those moments that we are still embracing and that we're trying to get to the finish line. And one of those is our Polio Plus initiative. We are going to spend a little time trying to raise money. We're going to talk about the transformation that occurred as a result of that Polio Plus initiative. Many of you on this call are passionately involved in trying to get us to the finish line with Polio Plus. Just think, when we started, 350,000 children a year were becoming paralyzed. And today that number is 99.9% less. Children that are able to walk, children that can run, children that are healthy, all because Rotarians, along with their partners, work together to go after a big, audacious goal, and that's to eradicate this disease, which with inoculation can be eradicated from the world. And we're going to be celebrating that process. We're going to be raising money throughout the summit. We've got a small initiative that we have embraced, and my slide changer got me there. The $26.50 promotion. We've extended this for another week, sort of the back current of all information with our leadership opportunities at the district level, district conferences. Not a lot of people were aware of it, but for registrations that occur between now and the end of next week, the summit itself will contribute $26.50 per registration. Based on the current registration, we've raised, with the 2-for-1 match from the Gates Foundation, approximately $40,000. We think if everybody focuses maybe in the next week, we can raise another $15,000 or $20,000. All you have to do is register between now and next weekend. And then based on the final attendance, we will provide Polio Plus with those funds. We will have a member of the Bill Gates and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation with us during the week of the summit. It's the CEO. We're going to talk about the challenges that face us as we're getting to the final stretch. We're going to talk about the challenges foundations have currently into some different environments, but we really want to celebrate these moments, these opportunities, these chances that Rotary has embraced to make a difference in the world. Now, Williamsburg is also going to be an exciting location. It's a revolutionary moment in two ways. One is it's the 250th celebration of the founding of America. And the second is it's the 100th year celebration of the creation of Williamsburg. Those two items are colliding together to sort of create some excitement that we hope will create opportunities for Rotarians through zones 33 and 34 to join us in Williamsburg. The crisp autumn air, the tree changing colors, lantern lit streets, the sounds of drums and fifes. We've already engaged Patrick Henry, George Washington, and others to sort of engage with us. I think Lad's going to potentially dress up in one of his Revolutionary War costumes. A lot of excitement on the horizon in terms of what we are seeing develop. We have a very creative team. It's going to get beyond ABBA, Peter. We're going to do a few other things, but the excitement's in the air, and we can't wait to sort of tell you more about it. I'll be available at the breakout session to chat in more detail. I would remind everybody, though, this is a very busy time in Williamsburg. We've got a very attractive rate on the hotels, but you better get the reservations early, because if the trajectory continues to go up, the hotel rooms could potentially be all reserved, and we're going to have to go to other options, which will not be as nice as the Williamsburg Lodge, which is a premier location in Williamsburg. We've got it for $189 a night. We had them eliminate the resort fee. So it is a good time to be there. We do have early bird specials that go through the middle of August. August 10th, I believe, is the date. So currently, if you take the discounts, you can get in at $550 for the summit. It's a little higher for the learning or governors, but governor-elect and governor's nominees. But again, I think this is designed so that we can attract a wide range of people, so that you will have strangers that may come in. We all can lead as friends with a common cause to make an impact in the world. So Patrick, Director Patrick, thank you for giving me a little time to chat about this. I look forward to chatting a little bit more in the breakout if people have questions. But everybody get it on your calendar. Register between now and next week so we can make that contribution to our Polio Plus initiative.
All right, John, thank you so much for that awesome presentation, and to all our presenters for some great content today. We're going to get you out to breakouts in just a second, but let's do a quick lightning round of upcoming events. All right, as always, our MAP webinar is the second Monday of every month. That's April 13th, coming up at 5:30 Eastern Time. Make sure you get registered for that. That is going to be all about implementing your blueprint for success. Foundation Matters, April 16th. That's going to be at 6 p.m. Our always popular Public Image Boot Camp. This usually has about 300 attendees. Always very well attended and amazing content. That's coming up April 28th at 6 p.m. Make sure you get registered for that webinar. And our Zone 33 District Team Learning Seminar, an event that's near and dear to my heart, coming up May 1st and 2nd in Richmond. And as we've heard about already today, Rotary International Convention, make sure you get registered for that. Still time to get registered to join 38,000 of our fellow Rotarians. Also, you want to get registered for the gathering. This event usually sells out, maybe a little bit slow right now, but I wouldn't expect it to stay slow. So make sure you get registered for the gathering. and the Rotary Revolution. John's already talked a lot about that. That's coming up October 21st through 25th. Want to make sure you get registered for that. And you can learn more about that in the breakouts that we're going to open up here shortly. Make sure you stay connected with all of our social channels, like, join, follow, and share.